As you guys probably already know, BTS are on a worldwide tour right now for their comeback from the military, and their first step into the US was in Tampa. And I actually got to see them day one in Tampa for my first concert, and it was terrible. First, I'm gonna start off by saying that I am not rich enough to see BTS. You're probably thinking, girl, budget it. But I actually got really lucky and I didn't pay for my ticket. One of my really close friends, childhood best friend, randomly hit me up and was like, hey, I wanna go see BTS in Tampa, but my mom won't let me go alone. If I pay for your ticket, do you wanna come? And I was like, damn, girl, I did not know we were tight like that. Like, yes, sister from another mister. You're literally my hoe that's never fall, my year one who's still so much fun. So my new best friend's name is Kayla, and the plan was for my older sister to drive her and her boyfriend to the concert. Another friend that was going to go to the concert was my friend Kyle. He was also going with his older sister and offered me to share a hotel room with them to save money. You know we broke, so I say yes. This was the first time I was going on any type of trip with friends, so I was like, wow, this is what the college life is all about. But I also didn't really know what I was getting myself into money-wise, because yes, we don't have a job. Look at what you're watching. So I asked Kyle to let me know how much I'd be paying for the hotel. It was me, Kyle, and his sister staying in the hotel. So I'm thinking the price was going to be split into threes. But Kyle told me it was $360 for 2 nights, so divided by 2, and my share was going to be $180. Look, guys, I know I should have been expecting to pay a lot of money on this trip, but also if a broke hoe is seeing BTS on a whim, we're still broke. So I was like, hey, that's kind of a lot. And he let me know that he would split it into 3, so my amount would be $120. I told Kyle straight up, yeah, I think I'm gonna look for a cheaper hotel or sell my ticket, cause hello, I'm broke. Kyle was begging me to figure it out so that we could stay in the same hotel room because he was like, please, it'd be hella fun cause you're so funny and cool and funny. Kyle also decided this was the time to let me know the hotel was only gonna have 1 bed and 1 couch. Obviously, I'm thinking, because he didn't specify, that I was gonna sleep on the couch. And his sister and him were gonna share a bed, because what do I look like sharing a bed with either of these hoes? I was a little confused, because he also let me know that his sister was expecting $20 for gas. Because we're in the same hotel, of course his sister was going to be my ride to the concert, which was a 40-minute drive away. I didn't know how much for gas was justified at the time, so I just agreed. Until Kyle Loki joked around and said his sister originally wanted $40 for gas, but he bargained for my sake. At this point, I was starting to think, okay, Loki, something's up here. And I talked it out with my sister at the time, who was going to be staying at her friend's house. She was really pushing for me to stay with Kyle, so what she ended up doing was finding a different hotel that was way closer. It was 20 minutes away from the concert, had 2 beds, free breakfast, and it was so cheap that it made my share to pay for the hotel $60 instead of $120. My family figured that I was better off staying at my sister's friend's house and having her drive me to the concert so I wouldn't have to pay for gas or the hotel, because if I was paying those original prices, the only BTS that I would know after that damn concert is BTS, because I would be back to the damn streets like, oh my gosh, what the heck. Finally, I thought that mess was over until Kayla decided to let me know she wanted to show up at the concert before 4. Girl, the concert started at 8, so obviously I was like, no. You have to understand, we live in Florida. It didn't help that freaking Kyle wanted to show up at that time also. The reason being they wanted freebies. I know people hype up K-pop freebies a lot, but I wasn't about to wait in the sun for 4 hours for the freaking limited edition junk of thong or the super tuna nipple covers. No. So after fighting like hell to agree to show up an hour and 30 minutes early, we were finally on the road to Tampa. We left at 10 a.m. and our expected arrival was around 2. It was a 4-hour drive. Kyle had left at 9 and arrived around that time. You want to guess what time we arrived? We arrived at 5. 3 car crashes happened. Freaking bodies were found, so they closed all the highways. After the long drive and dropping Kayla off, me and my sister were exhausted and starving, because we were saving our stomachs for a buffet that we wanted to go to. Just to find out that my sister put in the wrong address, so we were actually 30 minutes away from her friend's house. The buffet was an hour away. Turns out the buffet has multiple locations, so the one that we went to tasted like farts. It was bad. Finally, after all that, it was the day of the concert. I got dressed. I was ready to get litty in the city and pop a titty. Okay, guys, confession time. I promise, despite the way I'm speaking, I'm actually a goody two-shoes. Quiet hoe in real life. But my friends low-key led me into skipping line, and I felt bad because the girls in front of us were pointing at us and complaining about how long they had been waiting while we just squeezed in. And I told Kayla about it, and Kayla freaking said,
and what are they gonna do about it?
like, sister, they're gonna turn BTS into the behind the scenes of a true crime documentary where we're the stars. Anyway, we finally made it to our seats, which took like 20 minutes. Plus, just wanted to mention that just 20 minutes in the sun had these hoes complaining about how hot it was. You see what they're about to put me through? It was clear that my friends weren't the ugly, messy hoes at the concert because the girls next to us were sitting in the wrong seats. They were talking about how close the stage was and about throwing their freaking freebies on stage, which was already making me sweat. But before I knew it, two people were freaking yelling and pointing at these girls, screaming, freaking, someone stole our seats! These girls are in our seats! And then right when the girls turned around, they went, not to call you girlies out or be messy, but you're in our seats. Like, it's a little late for that. You literally pointing at these hoes and yelling at them. Everybody was turning and looking at themselves and freaking whispering, cause what the heck, guys? I don't know if these girls made a genuine mistake or not, but they were supposed to be in the 300s and our seats were in the 200s. I don't know how we made that mistake, but I mean, it's whatever. I also noticed that the girls that were sitting behind us were all middle schoolers. The music finally started to play, and smoke flew around the stage as I watched 7 figures run into the stage. It was almost perfect, except there was one issue. BTS Loki was looking like ants, hopping around and jumping around, and the screens, I saw their mouths moving, but oh my god, I did not know that they started singing because of how much the girls behind me were blowing their ears out. So yeah, I thought that our seats were pretty close to the stage, but turns out the stage is just huge and BTS is tiny. Obviously, I knew that people were going to be screaming at the concerts. I tried to calm down, but honestly, after I couldn't hear or see, my heart was dropping and I was dissociating because a lot freaking went into going to this concert. 3 songs had played already, and the girls behind me weren't letting up on their screams, not even singing along, straight up screaming and freaking playing in my ears and spitting on me too. If you told me BTS was using some special water effects for swim, I would have believed you, honestly. And these girls weren't just screaming nonsense. Sometimes they were freaking screaming, rail me down.
Me on the floor.
The world is crazy now, because when I was 13, I was having dreams that Jin was my older brother and took me shopping with the rest of the members. I wanted to get a bowl cut and dye it blue and become BTS, not be with BTS. So these girls not only yelling this during the concert, but literally when we were supposed to be silent because the members were talking like, oh no, you actually want Jungkook to hear. Ladies, the only place Jungkook is going down on is down to jail. Jungkook is a little overcooked compared to you guys. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, I was pretty upset that I couldn't really see or hear anything. Also, I was being spat on. I asked Kayla if she could hear any of the members or see, and this girl said, no, but it's all worth it because I see Dada Namjoon on the screen. And I was like, maybe I'm not as a hardcore BTS fan as I thought. Because my friends did not give a damn. One of my friends cheered because they thought a backup dancer was freaking Jungkook, and they shook me. And they shook me and screamed at me because someone in our section was on the screen. They had me thinking I was up there. Honestly, I was really shocked that no one yelled at these girls. Like, honestly, everybody in our section must have been international fans. The Florida that I know, I went to movie theaters where teenagers spoke too loud and someone came up to them and was like, hey, excuse me, can you come outside so I can beat your fucking ass? And then they did. Overall, I was disappointed. To top it all off, our freaking surprise song was Permission to Dance. I was so disappointed. I thought maybe I missed Permission to Dance on the set list. I didn't know it was even an option. When the lights turned on for the concert and BTS left, I was like, hello? Guys, I think you forgot a song. Isn't this one we scream encore? Also, the fireworks after the concert freaking rained hot ashes on us. It didn't bother my friends too much, but I was dressed like a freaking slut. And I have sensitive skin. After losing my hearing and being burnt to a crisp, me and Kayla had to walk to my sister's car to go home. I kept asking my sister to specify a location because I didn't want this to be a big deal like literally everything so far for the concert had been. She just told me to walk in a random direction as far away from the concert as we could. We walked about half a mile away until she sent us a location that was half a mile away from the concert and in the other direction that we walked in. So then we went. Then she sent us her location, which was a mile away. So then we walked. By the time that we had dropped off Kayla and made it back to my sister's friend's house, it was 3 a.m. and we had to wake up at 8 a.m. the next day to pick up Kayla and make our way home to beat the traffic. Everything was a mess. And I mean, it was just a mess. Honestly, the only thing that happened after the concert and getting back is I just had to study for finals. I literally, the day after we came home, I had 2 finals back to back for my stupid business classes. Oh my gosh, I just wanted to be dead. And that's it. I watched as all my favorite BTS songs got freaking slimed out at other concerts for the surprise songs. I was so sad. Honestly, the only thing that would really make it better is if a freaking rich K-pop idol was watching this and he's like, oh my gosh, this girl's so funny, so he could just hurry up and freaking marry me so that my life could be freaking easy so I could just drop out. But yeah, that's my story. Okay, yeah, guys, bye.
그래서 우리가 남다르신 것 같아요. I love you.